I have been on a quest to make the best chicken wing possible on an offset. I want a smoky chicken wing, but I also want a crispy wing. So today on the channel, I'm trying not one, not two, but 8 different methods to see which makes the best chicken wing on an offset. What's up, chicken wing fans? Welcome back to Patio. My name's Jake. You're watching Offset Rookie. Now, if you've been around for a little while, you know I grew up 2 hours outside of Buffalo, and I've been on the quest to make the perfect chicken wing on my offset. I love a smoky wing, but I also love a crispy wing. So today, I've decided it's time to just throw down the gauntlet, jump in all the way, and we're gonna try a whole bunch of different methods, 8 in fact, because guess what? The big game is around the corner. You guys are gonna be having your parties and you wanna make sure you have some wings, and I'm on a mission to make the best wings for myself, but I also wanna help you get there so that when your guests arrive, they've got the best wing possible. So for today, we're breaking out 8 methods. Before we can do that, let's get the pit fired up. So if you're gonna make the best chicken wing possible, you've gotta start with some high quality chicken. Now listen, when it comes to steak, people buy prime. They buy 30-day dry age, 60-day dry age, 75-day dry age, and they buy Wagyu. But when it comes to chicken, lots of people go find the cheapest chicken they can find, and you're missing out. Now, long before I started a YouTube channel, I found a company, D'Artagan Foods, and I have been ordering their organic chicken, their Berkshire pork, and their chicken breast chicken wings for like 4 years now. Not sponsored, but I want you to understand why this chicken is so good. This is their green chicken, or green circle chicken. They have several different levels. The organic chicken is quite good as well. Green circle is the top line. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it's pricey, but here's why. This chicken is raised twice as long as normal chicken. It's actually raised for 82 days. They roam free, they're fed a vegetable diet. The chicken here is more flavorful. It actually has flavor, unlike a lot of chicken today. Chicken is very, very bland. A lot of people have been turned away from it because it doesn't have any flavor. This chicken has flavor. And additionally, if you put them side by side, their chicken breasts beside another one, they actually are pink, unlike the whitish gray that you buy today. So there's a big difference in it. And if you've never tried it, I highly recommend you try it. I do have an affiliate link down below, so I will link that for you. Help support the channel, but more importantly, you're gonna get to try some high quality chicken. So let's get into that. These are full wings, right? We're gonna make party wings out of them. Just so happens I have a whole bunch. Since we're doing 8 different types, I need a bunch of wings. So let's cut these guys open. The other thing you're gonna notice right away is they've got some good size to them. And to take these guys and separate them out, pretty simple, right? Show you real quick. I like to break it down a little bit. I actually like to take this side up, cut that piece out, just the skin back and straight down. We've got our wing. Then we take our tip, push down, away you go. We'll do one more and then I'll run through them. The one thing I will tell you about these is sometimes you're gonna have some little feathers in here. You can just cut them out. Super easy to do. Cut the tip off, but look, it's really not gonna come across on camera. I wish I had some other wings to show you, but if you look at the size of this guy, it's a huge drum and flat. It really is. So you're not getting a lot per package because they're big and juicy and there's more meat on them. Let's go through the rest of them real quick. Just like that, we've got 30 wings that are ready to get on the pit. Doesn't take that long. Now, a couple little tips here. I mentioned earlier that the green circle ones will have some feathers in them from time to time. I went through these, it's not a lot, right? I had 6 flats or drums that had like a couple feathers left in them. Just took a knife or some paper towel, pull it out, done, it's easy. If that freaks you out, just get the organic ones. They're quite good as well. The next thing to note is that when you're cutting these up, you can slice some of the bones a little bit. So if you've got some loose bone, just cut that away so you don't chew on it by mistake. Other than that, we're in good shape. Now what we need to do is we need to make a rub. And we're gonna keep it pretty basic. We're gonna take some pepper, got a little shaker here, and this is my friend the pepper cannon. And I've got this set to a little bit below like a 16 mesh. I don't want huge pieces of pepper on there. And real quick while I got you, let me show you this thing. Like, look at the amount of pepper that comes out. This thing is expensive. It's heavy. It's all stainless steel inside. Well worth it, in my opinion. We're cranking out tons of pepper in no time. Now, I had a little bit in there. I'm not going to say that in 10 seconds I got this amount, but in 20 seconds I could. So, gives you an idea. Where's my measuring things here? So we've got teaspoon, 4. I want a little bit more than that. 5, 6, and a little bit. So 6 teaspoons of pepper. Make sure we got enough for all of our wings here. Got some seasoned salt. Now for the seasoned salt, this is something my grandfather used to use when I was a kid. Just seasoned salt and flour and fry them up. Gives it a nice little taste, and I like seasoned salt on there. So what we've got here is we're doing 4 teaspoons of that. We've got some granulated garlic, and we'll just take 1 of those. I do have a little bit of onion powder. This is more granular than powder, but we're gonna do 1 of those as well. And because we want some color, we'll do some paprika, and this I'm just gonna do to color, really. Oh, hate when that happens. There's 1.5. Shit. Man, that's a mess. So that's about 4. Let's see what happens. Got some red in there. We will give it a little bit more. Paprika does not have a ton of flavor, right? This is really color. And what I'll do, a little bit more. So that's about 6 teaspoons of paprika. And because we're outside, easy way to clean up. So this is a super simple, basic. I'm gonna use a sauce on these, but I wanna have a little bit of flavor in there. So I know if I just season these wings and put them on the smoker and we tried the 4 methods I'm about to show you, they'd be pretty good. However, from experience, I know if I use these 2 methods I'm about to show you as a base, they're gonna be even better. So what I've done is I've mixed these guys up. We've got 15 wings here, 15 wings here, and we're gonna do 2 different things as the base level, and then I'm gonna do 4 different things to each of them, and then we're gonna crown the winner. First thing we're gonna do here is I do have some magic powder in our bag here. This is some cornstarch. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pour some of this in here. What do we got in there? Probably, it's almost half and half. So we've got probably a tablespoon of cornstarch and a tablespoon of seasoning. Make sure you get them mixed up or you'll just end up with seasoning on your wings. You want a good coating on here, so give that a little bit of a shake. And now what we're gonna do is we are gonna take these wings over here, do the hokey pokey and shake them all about. We wanna get a really good coating on here. That's it. Dump these guys out. And we're gonna give these guys a little bit of a shake off. We don't want a bunch of excess. I'll tell you what, the rub doesn't smell too bad. I made that up on the fly this morning. Not that it's advanced. I'm just like, I don't wanna just use salt and pepper, I want something else. So we stepped it up a little bit. So now these get a little tacky with the cornstarch there. So be aware of that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these on a separate rack, take these guys inside, and we'll put these guys on the pit. Now before we can put these on the pit, we've gotta do one crucial step. Don't miss this step, you'll thank me later. But the last thing we want is our wings sticking to a rack and all that crunchy skin that we're working on to stick to the rack. So what I'm doing is I'm changing to a new rack, and I've got some avocado oil here. I'm gonna give it a generous coating, and then I'm gonna transfer these guys. Just like that, we're ready to get them on the pit. And now we're just gonna put them on this rack and that way we can rotate them around, but there's another reason for that, and I'll show you in a little bit. So we're putting these guys on the top rack. I'm trying to maximize my smoke, but I'm not running incredibly hot, and there's a very good reason for that. So I'm gonna close this up. We need to give these guys a head start because the other ones we're doing something unique to. The one thing I'll speak to is I am running a little bit of a dirtier smoke than I would traditionally run because these are not going to be on that long, and I do want to get some smoke flavor in them. So if we look at the stack, you can see that we've got a little bit of heavier smoke there. Not billowing, don't get crazy with it, just run a little dirtier fire than you would normally. Now I'm sure you're wondering why we had to give those guys a head start. Here's why. I'm gonna apologize in advance. This thing does interfere with my mic, so I'm gonna make this part short, but you're gonna get a little bit of feedback from it. We're boiling our wings. We throw these guys in, and we're not boiling them for long, we're boiling them for 5 or 6 minutes. Get these guys in here. Now the reason why we're boiling them is we were gonna jumpstart that rendering of the fat. Sounds a little bit weird, but let me tell you, I've done it before and it works great. I'll bring you back when these are done. So it's been 6 minutes. Just in the last minute, this guy got back up to simmer, right? So when you put these guys in here, don't wait till it gets up to boil and then start timing it. The water's gonna be hot. You're gonna put cold wings in there, so it's gonna drop the temperature and then it'll come back up. But start your timer from when you put them in there, and they're just starting to kind of float. But these are larger wings, so I went with 6 minutes. Now, real quick, you gotta get your seasoning on right away. All right, so I think these will dry out pretty darn quickly. The water will just evaporate. So, pull a couple out at a time, but don't pull out too many because it'll be dry before you get your seasoning on. And again, we'll space these out so we can get some nice smoke flavor all the way around them. I want to make sure the smoke can get around the meat and touch all the sides. And you can see a little bit on top of the water that some fat that floated to the top. All right, so these guys are ready to go in the smoker now. They're gonna get some smoke flavor. Now, just for clarity, when I said 250, we're looking at the top dial, not this dial. This dial's around 225. When we're running this low with the stack wide open, there's about a 25-degree difference. So I just want to clarify that we are running that up top. I'll put these guys on. So we're gonna move this rack, had to move this over just a little bit here so that I could get over this edge here. I guess what I could have done is I could have probably put these guys this way as well. I guess that would work too, but you can see these ones are already starting to get a little crispy on the outside. We're gonna let them roll for a little while longer. Now, I said I wanted a smoky wing, right? So I've just got this is a sweet barbecue sauce from a local chain, Buffalo Wild Wings. They sell all 15 of their sauces. I happen to like them, but you can get them on Amazon. I will put a link down below so you guys have it. But what I want to do here is I want to put all my sauce on the pit so I can get some real smoke into that. It'll just add some nice flavor to it. We'll throw this guy right here off to the side and let it get some of that smoky goodness. I will come out in about 10 or 15 minutes and just give that a stir so we make sure basically the smoke's gonna come into the top, so I wanna stir it to get some smoke flavor in there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these guys cook for a good 20 minutes and I'll bring you back, we'll have a look. So it's been about 25 minutes. Let's have a look, we gotta make some changes here. These guys are already 165, 170-ish, so they're ahead, whereas these guys are 140, 142. He comes up here and they were on first, so my timing's a little bit off. No big deal. First off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a top rack here, and because I'm lazy, we're gonna flip, right? Hopefully our oil worked. We got a couple that stuck. Here we go. All right, so now we're just gonna get some heat on the bottom side a little bit. Same thing for these guys. Yeah, we got a jumper. We got one that's stuck. So we'll pick this guy up. All right, and then the next thing we're gonna do here, so now we're just gonna, another jumper. So now we're just gonna switch sides here. Easy for me to do, apparently. All right, so I wanna get these guys spread out. Now these guys are actually feeling quite crispy already, so I'm excited about these ones. These are not gonna stay on too long. I just wanna get some heat coming from the bottom. Just to dry out, you can see there's a couple here where the cornstarch is still there. So if I turn them down, the heat will come from the bottom and the fat will render out a little bit more. Got a little bit of stuff fell off the top rack there. Just one or two pieces there. Give this a quick stir while we're here. I've already stirred that once. And what we're gonna do is I'm probably gonna let these guys go maybe another 5 minutes. Those guys I'm gonna wait till they get to 160, and then that's when we'll really get into it. So here we are, ready to get into the meat and potatoes of the video, so to speak. Here I've got the ones that were boiled. These are the ones that had some cornstarch, and if I compare them side by side, when I pull them out, I gotta be honest, the cornstarch ones were in the lead. If we look at them up close, the cornstarch ones were more crispy and that skin had really developed already. The ones that were boiled, not so much. They still were crispy, but they didn't quite have the crispiness of the cornstarch ones. Now, I cooked them to about 170. If I knew which one was gonna win, I would actually probably cook them down to 150 and then just focus on the finishing method. But I didn't know which was gonna win, so I made sure they were done. Then what we did is I let them sit inside. They've been sitting inside for, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes. My goal there is they're already cooked. So think of it like French fries. If you want to make a delicious French fry, you pre-cook it in oil till it's almost done. You let it rest. And then when you're ready to finish that off, you put it in again. So we're double cooking this and hoping that's going to help with the crispiness. I've done this on my air fryer, literally put my wings in the fridge, and they look good. So let me share with you the methods. We've got 2 bays, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some from each, and we're gonna do 4 methods. That'll get to our 8. The first method, we're going to put them up here on the top rack, right in here. This is screaming along at 400. It's super hot, so we're just gonna try some direct, high heat convection. The next method, since we're screaming along, we're going to put in our Cowboy Grill rack in here. Now the big thing here is that it's ice cooled, right? It's sitting right here. I don't want any conductive heat, or sorry, not conductive. I don't want any radiant heat coming, so when I touch the grates, I get some heat there. I want the fire to crisp up my skin. The next method is going to be deep frying. And to be honest, I've actually never smoked and deep fried a wing, so I'm a little excited about that. I've got the oil inside sitting at 375. So we're gonna put those in until they're done. And my last method, everyone likes to play with some fire. So recently I purchased this sous vide gun. I already had the Grill Blazer gun, but I purchased this for another video that was prime rib, and this worked amazing. So I'm like, hey, let's put some fire on our wings, see how that works. There's my 4 methods. We're gonna do it on the boiled wings and on the cornstarch. Let me show you what it looks like. So let's try some wings. Here's what we got. We're gonna alternate cornstarch and boiled. So we've got top rack, high heat, cornstarch, boiled. Now we've got the Cowboy box right over the fire, cornstarch and boiled. And then we've got deep fried cornstarch and boiled. And finally, we've got the sous vide gun from Grill Blazer, cornstarch and boiled. I'm just gonna start from the end and work my way down. Good smoke flavor. The crunch is okay. Let's try boiled. Again, good flavor. Lacking in the crunch department. Let's try over the Cowboy Grill. Butter crunch. I like the flavor. You can taste the fire there. Neck and neck. Now we'll try the cornstarch with the deep fried. Not surprisingly, there's a lot of crunch there. That one, that's got the most crunch so far. Jumps out right away. That's the boiled deep fried. Back down the crunchiness there. I've got some thoughts on this guy right here. So let me share some thoughts. Overall, delicious flavor. The seasoning worked out great. We've got some smoke flavor in there, exactly what we're looking for. The sous vide gun, not the right tool. As soon as I started using it, I realized that the problem there was I was starting to burn before I was getting the rest of the skin to crisp up, so it's just a little too intense. I think what you could change there is if these were already hot and you were just adding some crunch to the skin, you'd be okay, but because I let them cool down, they didn't get heated back up, just the outside burnt. So sous vide gun's not the way to go, and if I go with my gut, I don't think it's gonna be the way to go. The top rack ones, again, this is like the third time, fourth time that I've tried this. I've tried different variations. I'm getting a good wing, but it's not perfect wing that I'm looking for. Crunch is there, but I know there's more room for some improvement. The ones over the Cowboy box, I really like the flavor of those. The crunch was good. It was right up there. It was definitely elevated, and really, it's my second favorite. It's super, super close. The deep fried ones, it's tough to beat a deep fried wing, right? Delicious, as I said earlier, I've never had them before, so that was an interesting comparison. I did like this fire taste. It's got some char that just adds an extra element of flavor there that I really appreciate. So I'm gonna experiment with these some more. Now, if we talk about the cornstarch versus the boiled chicken, right away, the boiled took the win. Because we rendered it that fat, all we had to do is focus on getting some smoke into there and then putting in the deep fryer, rendered out the rest of it real quick, and we got that super crispy skin. So the boiled definitely got the edge there. So I think in every one of these, and actually I've done a similar experiment on my pellet grill, and that boiled gives it a little bit of an edge. To me, it sounds a little weird because why am I boiling my meat first? It's like people who boil their ribs to make them tender, which don't ever do. We can never be friends if you do that. Anyhow, but in the chicken world, in these wings, it really does help crisp it up. However, the cornstarch is a great hack if you want to do that as well. I think you got to try them for yourself, but for me personally, in this experiment, the deep fried wings and the boiled wings won. Now listen, as all this is going on, my mind's rolling here. I've got another layer that I want to add on to this. I wanted to see what were the two favorites. So probably now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that boiled wing and the grilled wing, the boiled and the deep fried wing, and we're going to add another layer of flavor on there to make sure that I can make the most amazing wing ever. If you want to see that, subscribe. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.